Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Real Music. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are. Today's guest is a fellow Alabamian. He's one of my favorite Bows from Alabama. It's not Bo Jackson, it's Bo Bice, and he's here talking about his brand new single called Ramblin, Gamblin Man. It's bluegrass. That's right. And it's super cool. And we're going to talk about that in his career. Of course, we're going to talk about his days on American Idol and a lot more. So stick around. But here he is. Here's Bo Bice.
Where are you at? Are you in Florida right now?
I'm down in Florida. We live just north of Tampa, near a little place called Inverness, and and Crystal River down here in between there, and so we love it. It's we vacation down here for many years. I probably shoot 7, 8, 10 years before we even moved down here. We started coming down here to vacation, and it just
Cool.
drew us in whenever we decided to um, head out of Georgia and wanted to get a little bit of warmer weather.
Right. Hey, it's warmer, that's for sure.
You
Um,
better believe
but
it.
you're from oh yeah. Well, you're from Huntsville. You're a fellow Alabamian though, so you're from up North Alabama. I'm from down here, which I talked to you before about. This is the home of William Lee Golden. I always throw that in. The home of William Lee
Yeah,
Golden, Bruton,
Bruton,
Alabama.
and in Bruton, yeah. William
That's
Lee's
right.
a good buddy and a wonderful man, and Bruton is it's a gorgeous town, and y'all get great weather down there too. And but to have William Lee as your spokesperson, that's really special. He's a wonderful man.
Yes, he is. He
I've got
represents
my
us very
junior.
well.
This is my junior golden going on right now.
There you go.
I don't have quite as impressive of a beard as William Lee does.
You got to keep it going. We'll check back with you in a little bit. We'll see in a year or so.
That's
Uh,
right.
that's good, man. Okay. Well, what we really want to talk about today, though, is a new single. Now, when I first heard that you had a single, because I've been trying to see what you've been up to, and I saw that you had a new single, Ramblin, Gamblin Man, Bob Seger song. But
Yeah.
now I was like, has he converted to bluegrass? I was thinking that's what the deal was, but it's just a one song from an
All right.
album. So tell me about that song and how you got to record that song.
Well, what I love about it is this was a project. It's called the Silver Bullet Bluegrass, and it is a project that has several artists on it. Uh, my friend Randall Deaton, who I've gotten to be pals with through Lonesome Day Records. He is the one releasing this whole album, and it has great artists on it. And play not only playing on the track that I have, but on this whole album. Gary Nichols is the one that pulled me in on this, and actually he did me a favor by suggesting, when he suggested me to do this, I was over the moon, man, especially when I heard the track Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. um so
Yes.
Gary Nichols is going to be on here. He does a song. My friend Shauna Tucker, she's on there. These are artists that when I was living in Muscle Shoals, I came up through the ranks with them. And so we would play in the same haunts and actually played in bands together. Shauna played bass for me for a while, and Gary and I played acoustic shows around the area. And so it was a special time when I was in the Shoals, and it led into Gary suggesting me to do this part on this CD, and the rest is history. We're now sitting here. They decided to use this as the single, and I'm
Cool.
just grateful that they did. I love the song. It's a toe tapper.
It really is. Uh, what I really love about it, is it stands out because people think of bluegrass. Sometimes they think of a certain way they sing, but your voice is so bluesy. You have a rock bluesy kind of soulful sound mixing with that, and it works. I was like, man, I could listen to this all day. It really sounds good, man. It really works. So I think people will be pleased when they hear this.
Well, I really love to hear the feedback on this. It has the the instrumentation on it that people are used to in bluegrass. But like you said, I didn't try to take away from what I do uh, on it. I tried to represent Bob Seger, and I think that they did a great job representing Bob Seger with this arrangement, just the arrangement alone. So I've heard sneak peek of some of the other songs, and I can tell you the CD will be coming out in the spring, summertime, and everybody's in for a real treat when this thing hits when it hits stores.
Oh wow, that's going to be awesome. And it's just good to hear from you in general, just period. But with that
Thank
song,
you.
being out there, that's awesome. But you got some other stuff you've been working on as far as your solo stuff.
Well, I do. There's a different song that I'm working on, and it's out of Muscle Shoals as well. This single was out of Muscle Shoals. Um, I've been working with Jeff Silbar and Devin Powers on a song called "Born from Hero's Blood." This lamb was born from hero's blood. It's absolutely a beautiful song, and so that'll be coming out just a little bit later on in the year too. So to have this great single coming out as we are, and then going into another single at the first of the year, getting to play some more shows this year, it's just been a lot of fun. Getting back into the swing.
Sure. Um, I remember the last time I talked to you. It's been a few years, and I think it was like during COVID and all that. And you had all these projects, and this was going to happen, and this, and
Yeah.
then all of that kind of shut down. Did you ever get back to doing any of those things, or how did all that pan out?
Well, the unfortunately the movie project got put on hold because of what we all went through with the pandemic, and so getting back into just touring again. I kind of stuck my toes into the water by doing some acoustic gigs, which I'm still out doing. I have one coming up on the 15th up in Irwin, PA. Which come on out if you want to jam out to some acoustic music. But I like to
Awesome
do
stuff, man.
singer songwriter stuff. That's some of my favorite things. When I do my acoustic shows, I like to tell the story behind the songs.
Right.
And now this is a cool one to add into the acoustic show. Gamblin Man is because
Yeah.
it's upbeat, and I get
Sure.
to tell the story about working with Shauna and with Gary, and that's part of getting back into the saddle that I love. Is each day's a new addition to the story, and
Right.
I hope that the story just kind of continues to adapt and change. And when this new music comes out, I hope people appreciate and love it as much as I do. It's about our veterans and about our country and about really about the the love of America in general. I think it'll really hit a key with people.
Sure. I think it will too. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Um, and I think the last time I talked to you, also, a lot of people may or may not know that you've had health issues in your life. How has that been going?
Well, things have been going a lot better. It is what it is when you have stomach issues, gastrointestinal issues. I've had 3 surgeries there. Um, I had to have a back surgery last year, so that kind of put me down for a little bit. But everything was, came out good on the other side of it. I just kind of roll with the punches each day with uh, my health, which is doing great and has been for the past year and a half. And
Awesome.
so, I just keep watching after what I eat. I don't get to eat or drink like I used to, but I get to enjoy life like I've never enjoyed it before.
Sure. It makes a difference. You know, like you said, you have to give up a lot of this stuff, but sure makes you feel better. I know it probably it's rough, I know, for you when you're trying to do, travel or do music and stuff and you're going through issues and pain and stuff like that. It sure makes a whole lot of difference when you're feeling better. You can see your mood change, probably, right?
Oh yeah, man. It changes you a lot when you have to, you know, like you said, travel and like I said, I have to watch what I eat and drink because You know, I don't I, I don't get to drink 3 or 4 Coca-Colas a day like I used to, and I can't start my mornings with 3 cups of coffee anymore. You know, but it's kind of grown up stuff. You learn what you can and can't do, and it's kind of like being a you know difference between being a kid again and trying to do the right thing. So out goes a lot of the fast food, which I love,
Yeah, man.
but I still
I
get to
understand.
keep my pizza. So that's
I,
okay, Gary. That's a
well,
plus.
well, see, I need to follow along whatever. So what is your diet plan as far as what's your basic stuff that you eat? Because I have like a lot of inflammation and I know it's from the food. So what is your basic food that you eat?
Well, I like to eat a lot of simple stuff like grilled chicken and potatoes, and get a protein in there. Try my best to stay away from as much red meat as I can, but that is impossible,
Yeah.
for me because I'm a that's where I backslide. And
Yeah.
but you know, unfortunately, I don't get to eat the kind of salads and things that I used to love to eat. I used to love to eat all that good stuff, and that's no longer able to be in my diet as much. But you know, that's all right. I eat a lot of
Mm.
plain foods.
Maybe it's I've seen it before where they'll eat the food and they'll have a picture of like you have like a picture of a steak and then like eat the tofu or whatever it is. I'm just
Right,
pretend that it's good, just pretend.
right.
Um, but let me go back a little bit now and to the past. And I know every time you talk to somebody in an interview, they got to bring up American Idol. I think we covered a lot of stuff back
Oh,
then,
that's fine.
back in the day. Um, but you know, I remember all that. When you first started, I followed you. Man, I was for you the whole time, especially being from Alabama. You got to root for your home team, And I just remember the excitement. That had to be a nervous time for you. But how were you feeling when you did that first little audition there in front of everybody?
Yeah. Wow. I it brings I'm trying to give you I stop for a minute because I'm trying to give you an answer that just hasn't been um said because really when I think back to being in front of Paula, Randy, and Simon for the first time, um I think they said something along the lines of, well, we uh this was not a unanimous decision or something like that. And I said, I think I understand. And I was kind of ready to walk out the door. I think I even made a little turn towards the door. And they said, well, wait a minute,
Wow.
there's a few of us that want to put you through. And I think I said it. One of them was you, Simon, right? Or wasn't you, Simon, right? Um, and he said, yeah. So he was, I guess, the hardest one the hardest nut to crack. But at the end of the day, when I got a compliment from him, it was a very big thing, and it meant a lot to me. And I don't mind
Sure.
talking idle at all because it's a big part of my history, and that's what people know me from. And they um, they weren't there through the couple of decades that I was doing this before American Idol. So
Hmm.
they get to experience some of that now through stories and through getting to look up some of my older songs. And so it doesn't bother me to talk about it.
Well, you were talking about Simon, though. I remember you telling me last time. You said at one point he said that you sounded like a lounge. You said lounge singer. That's what you said.
Right. He
So that
did.
had to
That was
be
one. Um, he said, you sound like a wedding singer. And I said, well, it
a wedding
sounds
singer.
like you go to some cool weddings. But
There you go. I mean,
no, he was, you know what? He never gave me a critique or a criticism that I think I didn't deserve. I'll say that about him. I don't think he ever did that.
sure. Um, in looking back, you know how everybody knows how things panned out. You were the runner up
Yeah.
to Carrie Underwood. So it's would there be anything different that you would have done if you could have done it over and did something different? I know you can't go back. Just thinking. I mean, what is there anything you would have done?
Uh, Absolutely not. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. You know, the week that I did "In a Dream" by Badlands, the a cappella song, um, I think I would have gone home then because I picked, I think, the same song as Carrie, and I knew that she was going to wipe the floor with me on it because she's knocking it out of the park, and changed the song and did that Badlands song, which people actually talk about a lot to me, which I'm just a big Badlands fan, Ray Gillen fan.
Sure.
Um, and so I feel like everything I did was, you know, at the best of what I could do. I felt that, and I've said this before, there's not a lot of people that get to see someone that they've gotten very, very close to um, get everything that they want. And then I got everything that I wanted too. So I
Right.
wouldn't go back and change a thing. I think Carrie has done a great job. She's proven that she's definitely the queen of what she does in her realm. And I'm just proud of her. I'm still to this day, I'm a big Carrie Underwood fan myself.
Do you think that? I mean, I know I guess it depends on who it is. I guess uh, judging, from the history of American Idol, some of the people that didn't win, they might have been, fifth place, sixth place, and they still went on to do well. Do you
Yeah.
think that it would help you to be the winner, or it wouldn't have mattered? I mean, how that went.
Hmm. I think it's all in what you do, and your work ethic and your attitude. I think it has a lot to do with it. And I can speak from both sides of the fence. Um, I'm uh, lucky that after, this is almost 20 years removed now from from
Wow.
American Idol for my season.
Wow.
So I'm lucky that after that, and doing what I love for as long as I have before that, since I was 15, been making a living doing this, and it's something that's always in my heart and soul. And so, to answer that question, that's the best way I could answer it is, you know, when it's when it lives in you, you just kind of, you get up each day and you do it.
Sure. Um, and after that success of American Idol, I know you've done albums and they've done well. And, um, it's a different world when you go from American Idol and you see how people are out there when you're putting your music out there. And I think you've released your own albums, right? And is that a hard task to be out there promoting your music like that when everybody, it's kind of dog eat dog out there?
Yeah, well, kind of like what you just said about, is it a blessing or a curse to be first or fifth? You know what I mean? I think when you go out and you don't have the tour support or the record support, um, then it does become a bit of an uphill struggle. But you have a lot of freedom in what you can do in production. You have a lot of freedom in what you can do in your vision. So uh, that can be a blessing and a curse, and when it's always good to surround yourself by a great team. And just going back to the single here, I think that's one of the great things about um, the Silver Bullet Bluegrass is this team has been just immaculate to deal with. And so when you get up each day, you want to go out there and help them make sure that you see how hard they're working. You want to be out there working just as hard for them, so that people get to see and experience what you've experienced and what you're enjoying.
Sure. And I know it's got to be cool for you to have people approach you and go, I want you to do this song. I want you, there's people out there that want you instead of you going out there trying to say, here, I got this song. They're coming to you. That's
Right.
got to be a good feeling too, right?
I like to try to stay as humble as I can, but I would be lying to you if it didn't make you feel a little bit, you know, uh, a little bit special when someone comes and says they want you to cover, especially something like this. I think this is just a fun project. It's been a blast, and so now that it's come to fruition and out, you know, it's really a lot of fun to share with other people and to get that feedback. I'm loving the feedback, and then it hasn't always, there's some people that say, "Hey, man, that's not bluegrass. That guy's a rock and roll singer," and there some people that just feel the opposite way, or they're people that just love the track, and that's what I love getting the feedback on, and luckily we've been able to keep some good feedback.
Sure. That's good. That's good to hear. Um, and before American Idol, though, you probably played everywhere and was doing this and doing that. I know you've probably been in bands, and since American Idol, you've been in bands.
Yeah.
Is it better for you to be in a band, or do you like being like the solo artist?
Gary, you know what? I think over time I enjoy both so much as I've gotten older. If you asked me this, 10 years ago, I probably would have said that it's easier and better just to be on your own as a solo artist. But now, I tell you, I enjoy being in bands and when I get to go do my acoustic stuff, but I enjoy the creative juices of a band. You know, somebody comes up with a riff and then somebody comes up with a song lyric idea. So it's special. There's a special kind of feeling when you're in a band, when you're in a creative band, especially when you're writing. When you're in a band, eh, it can sometimes be stifling too, so you need your outlet. That's why it's good to have acoustic music and your own music to stand on as well.
Sure. And when you're doing some of these acoustic shows, do you go way back and do some of the songs that maybe you did on like on American Idol? Are you going to do some of those songs?
I actually, when I'm doing my acoustic shows, I go back and I do some of the songs that I did on Idol. You know, I play Vehicle every show and I always will. My friend Jim Peterick wrote that song. And he and I was on there talking about being part of band stuff. You know, I was on their 55th anniversary CD, Play On, a
Cool.
song that Jim and I wrote. Called Love or Something Like It was on that. And again, right before we were going out doing some shows, I think we did one or two shows and then COVID hit.
Mm,
Um, but he's still out, they're still out going strong. And every now and again, I'll peek my head over at a show and sit in. But, you know, those, just sometimes it's fun to be in a band and sometimes it's fun just to be on your own as a solo artist.
sure. Um, and I guess if when you're on your own, you're your own boss, kind of, and you're like saying, you could say, "Hey, that sucked," and then yeah, it did. You could tell yourself, not
Yeah,
that you
well,
do or anything.
you've got no one else to blame. That's for sure. It's all in your
That's right.
pocket, so you've got no one else to
That's right.
blame.
Like Chris Stapleton said, that's good. Um, yeah, but you were in blood, sweat, and tears for a little bit. That had to be cool and a cool experience, right?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. I spent 5 years with Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and it was, you know, we traveled around the world about three times and doing different things, and it just was a blast. And they're still out doing stuff and playing music, going strong. And you know, I still follow what they're doing. They're really great guys.
Cool. Would there ever be a time where you joined another band like that and became the singer, or you think that's been enough for those
Mm.
kind of bands?
You know what? If I ever got the opportunity for the right opportunity, I'd be more than happy to join another band. Um, if somebody, you know, I think some of the greatest music that we've had in the past couple of decades have been some, you know, of our super groups like Velvet Revolver was is a great example. You know, I thought that was a great mixture of
Sure.
musicians and um, so if something like that came up, I would be definitely um, interested in pursuing something with it.
Sure. And a lot of people I see that are doing it, they've got like, five or six bands, little side projects. So it's not like you got to have a full-time commitment. You could do this little jam band that you play every now and then and maybe do an album and then kind of see what happens, right? That would be fun.
Yeah, that's what's nice about where we live in time right now, time and space. You know, is it's so easy for us to do things like we're doing right now, Gary. You know, an interview where I would
Mhm.
have had to come travel to you years ago, and we do this now. You know, I'm sitting here on my porch enjoying the beautiful day, and you're in the studio, and we're having a wonderful chat. And you know, this is the same thing with I think some of the the positive aspects of what we see in social interaction, social media, and technology in itself. So when you can add that kind of stuff into music, where I can do a track from across the United States on a song that somebody just recorded in California and send it back to them and not even have to leave my studio, you know. And so that's pretty awesome stuff, pretty awesome age we live in, I think.
It really is. It really is. Now, so far, you're talking about the things you got going on so far this year. Are there some things that you're going to be doing like after, or are there some little projects that people might need to know about, or exciting things that you might reveal to us?
Well, I do have, as I said, This Land Was Born of Heroes' Blood. And then I have a couple of songs to release that are off of my record label, Sugar Money. I have two or three songs I'm going to be releasing, just really showcases uh, what the Americana roots are of my music. You know, this is not really too rock. It's not really too um, bluesy. It's more of down the middle of Americana roots music. And it's I think it it's very suitable to the palate for people that are Bo Bice fans. You know.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be great. Well, I see that people uh, going back to American Idol again, though, I see that people will bring back some of the old contestants sometimes, maybe work with the artists. Have they ever approached you about coming back and doing anything with them, or do they ever say anything to you?
You know what? A lot of the times they'll put together shows and they'll put together things to where they invite us back. Like you said, I think a couple of years ago they did a show. I thought I saw Caleb on there, and um, so uh, there's times that they do that. If they ever, you know what, if they ever ask, I always love going and seeing the family because it is truly a family there. The production team's a big family. So I always love going back if I get the opportunity, and they're just they really are. People don't get to see behind the scenes all um, the muck that goes on. It's not glitz and glamour, and it's a lot of long days, early mornings, and late nights, and so if I ever get asked to go back, I like to go back and visit my friends and visit. A lot of the times you don't know it, but if you're going back, you're looking at one of the possible next winners. So that's the way I look at it. Is one of these people might be a possible next winner of the next American Idol. So I just always each year wish them luck, whoever's on there.
Or has there been anybody to cite you as an influence that you were kind of blown away that they said they like Bo Bice?
Um, I mean, I look at a lot of people that have done well there. You know, Chris Daltrey's done extremely well and did well for himself. And I remember, you know, speaking to him right after you know, he got off of the show, and uh, he's really, I think, a great example of an answer to a question that you asked earlier. You know, how other people have done well. Um, there's a lot of different artists off of that show that I think, you know, we look at now. We look back at their career, and we see, you know, the ones that have really stood out. So one of my favorites will always be Ruben Studdard. I wouldn't have gone auditioned if it wasn't for Reuben. He really, really supported our state and was a great representative for
Sure.
our state. Um,
Sure.
again, with Taylor Hicks has been on there, great representative of our state. I tried to be a great representative for our state of Alabama. So it's really, I think it's not just being biased, but like I said, I wouldn't have gone on there if it wasn't for Reuben. So if anybody ever says, "Man, I wouldn't have gone on there for Bo," um, I'm humbled by that.
That's good. Yeah, there was a streak of Alabama uh, winners and people in the top, the top two, that I was like, man, Alabama's on a streak, But it
Yeah,
kind of shows you that there's a lot of good music in Alabama that people don't really and would not have found out about you maybe unless you made it to American Idol. They got a chance to put you in the spotlight. So that spotlights Alabama music. That's a big deal, man. But there's a lot of good music out there, right? Especially in Alabama.
that's right. Um, a lot of great music. There's a lot of great history of music in Alabama. That's why I love having Lionel Richie on now on the show. He's from Tuskegee. Um, there's just a lot of, not just going off on an Alabama rant, but there's really a lot of really cool pieces of American Idol history that have come to our state. Jessica Muse is from Alabama. Um, we've had several of them, so I always support them when they get on there. My fingers get to dialing.
That's right. You gotta support them. Um, well, I thank you for talking with me today. I won't keep you too long. I'll let you enjoy the sun and the breeze, the cool breeze coming in. I see the trees blowing outside, but it's the weather. It must be nice where you're at. I can tell.
Well, it's beautiful here in Florida. It hasn't been, for the past several days. That's why I was out here. I want to thank you so much, Gary. It's always a pleasure to get to see your face. And thank you for letting us come on and talk about the new single, Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. You can catch it on all the usual suspects. And you can find me at bobice.com and on all the usual Facebook and Twitter, whatever we're calling it now. You can catch me anywhere, Instagram. So I want to thank you so much for just taking the time, my friend. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I'm like I said, looking forward. I'm happy the song is out and it sounds great. And I'm looking forward to your other stuff. And I know everybody is gonna really love it. But thank you and God bless you and looking forward to the future.
Well, God bless you, my friend. And you stay rambling and gambling, all right?
You know it, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
Bye
bye.
bye.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode. What a great guy, Bo Bice. You gotta love him. Brand new single called Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. The bluegrass song, really cool. Check it out. Check out his website for more information. And until next time, everybody, always remember to keep the music real.